This is of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it. Like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, then welcome in. Patriot Sports live stream on a football Thursday. Divisional previews roll on as we tackle both of the Souths this evening. Souths, NFC and AFC. We'll preview 8 teams tonight because we got to get these things done. Football is here. There's football on right now. Well, it's technically football. Hall of Fame game. That counts.
You can gamble on it.
I did. I have the under 33.5. I parlayed it with a couple golfers. Tell you what, if Webb Simpson wins the Wyndham and this game goes under 33.5, I might take a day off work next week. We'll give a quick recap of what these teams did last year, and then we'll act like we know what we're talking about, pontificate, predict what will happen. How you guys doing? We got John. Looks like he's on the road, and Coach in a collared shirt. I believe you were just dealing with some professionals, co-workers,
some Utes, yeah. Football season's getting right around the corner. We're getting fired up. Getting it going.
I see Cole Cunningham has done
here.
The Cubs logo in honor of their hot streak.
Oh,
it's
they're
not
on
baseball.
fire.
That's not baseball.
And I have my
2 days.
I have my trusty predictions right here atop of the Central. Just letting you guys know. You heard it here first.
Oh, yeah.
I heard on the radio today the Cubs are on pace for like the most wins in the second half or something crazy. I don't know what happened. They're cheating is what's happening. They just haven't figured out how yet.
I'll tell you what, whatever they did, they decided that they weren't going to just have a fire sale at the trade deadline, and that made me happy because that tells me that they're going to try to compete. And you know, I mean, last time that we gambled on that, we ended up winning it all. So it hadn't happened very often.
No.
Usually it's some sort of swap meet on the lawn.
Oh, good call.
Yeah. I think Ross gets a stay of execution because his seat's getting a little hot.
Yeah, his seat was getting a little hot, but they've sure helped him out here lately. And you know, I really I like watching him get animated a little bit. I like him. I can't help but like him. But, man, I want him to do well. Anyhow.
Chat's blowing up already. We got Jeffrey Scott Coles here. Jonah from the Blue Collar Enlightenment Show.
Chiefs fans in the house, too.
Yeah. Hey, Jonah's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Look at producer Chris has his HVAC sunglasses tan going.
Looking good.
That's
you know what that's called?
Safety first.
Yep.
That's called 30 hours of OSHA training. That's what this is.
That's called a paycheck brand is what that is. That's a raccoon look of a wealthy man.
PSR producer didn't go to college.
No,
nope. Didn't have to. Didn't need it.
Lots of on-the-job training.
OJT.
We just do stuff and we figure it out.
When you're the Charlie Daniels of any specialty, you can be that way. You can name your price.
Exactly.
I took a nap today.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still made more money than me. I've been going since 4:30.
Yeah, you're not in it for the money anymore. That's gone now.
No. The hell you say?
Molding the next generation, ensuring America's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm watching NFL football, Coach, right now.
Yep.
I know it's on.
That was
happy days are here again.
The long desert of the dry season. I've seen so many oases. I'm pulling sand out of my fucking teeth. But we're here, baby. We're fucking here.
Oasis.
Oasi. Can we hear John?
Nope. And he's nope.
John's giving us pearls and we can't even hear
got
it.
Man, so much
I'm
effort.
on
There we go.
location. I had a minor
I'm on.
family emergency, so I had to fly back to the old homestead. But my point being, we are officially in football season, which means that we don't have to talk about NBA drama anymore. We have real stuff to talk about, boys. So let's kick it off.
Yeah. Jacksonville Jaguars. They won the South last year with a 9-8 record, which is like winning a beauty contest in a podunk town. It's like, yeah, you were the best, but consider the competition. That said, they were a well-balanced team with clear potential. They scored the 9th most points in the league on offense, and defense was 14th in points allowed. 12th ranked rush offense, pretty good. And the number 10 passing game, Trevor Lawrence took a clear, definitive step towards what they all told us he would be.
He is who he thought we were.
I
Something
think
like
he
that.
might be. He's a big, tall kid. Just when he throws the football, he looks like a quarterback.
Yeah.
He passes the eye test anyway.
He's got a heck of a horse face. I'll give him that. That sucker, his face is long as Seabiscuit.
Some say he has some celebrity lookalikes. Seabiscuit may be included.
Yeah, right there.
Who's that Sex in the City girl? The one that looks like Seabiscuit.
Another
Allegedly.
classic horse face.
Hey, she's married to Ferris Bueller, though.
Yeah, I got to cut her some slack because anybody who hooked up with Ferris Bueller's got to be all right.
Yep.
They're all right in my book. He
Abe
is the
Perlman, the
sausage
sausage
of
king of
King of
Chicago.
Chicago.
The Jags rush defense was 12th in yards allowed, but the pass defense was 27th best out of 32 teams, which isn't really any kind of best. They didn't exactly load up on defensive backs either. All they added was Dearness Johnson. He's a running back, kicker, and an offensive tackle. They drafted O-line in the first round. They also drafted Tank Bigsby and a safety / cornerback named Antonio Johnson. I'm not a big enough college football fan to know who that is. Marvin Jones went back to Detroit. Dan Arnold, Jawan Taylor, Arden Key, and Shaq Griffin, I guess, are their biggest losses. Back to lead these men is Coach Doug Peterson. Freedom of the Press Taylor is your offensive coordinator. Mike Caldwell, the DC. Their win total is 9.5, and their odds to win the Super Bowl are 25-1. The latest news out of training camp is Calvin Ridley is awesome. Calvin Ridley is so fast. Calvin Ridley is the best. That's basically what I've been hearing.
I like this team because I think they have. I've been a Trevor Lawrence fan since he was a high school recruit, and he is definitely a gem. I think he's a generational talent. And I think the one thing that the Jags have going for them, one, they had a gutsy playoff win last year that really gives them confidence going into this season, and in the fact that you can slug out a dogfight when you're a passing first team. And also, I think they have what you need in the NFL is the most important battery in all of sports is head coach, quarterback. They got Dougie Big Balls at head coach, proven Super Bowl winner, good coach, isn't necessarily totally a player's coach, isn't necessarily totally a ball buster. So I think that's a good fit. And then, of course, I don't see Trevor Lawrence getting any worse. I see him getting a lot better. And he's just another force of quarterbacks in the AFC. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I agree with Cole. Doug Peterson's an amazing coach. That guy is a leader of men. I mean, especially coming off of Urban Meyer. To get that guy, you feel like you got fucking Bill Walsh over there.
Yeah, huge fan. I've always liked Doug Peterson. He just seemed like a coach you definitely want to play for. He knows what he's doing, and they've got weapons. So, and I think the big thing for me was seeing that gutsy playoff win last year. It's against the Chargers, but still, to have the confidence in your quarterback to win from behind in the postseason is something about 3 to 4 teams in the league can say they have.
They went into halftime down 27 points.
Yeah.
I mean, and they won that game. That's the biggest blown lead, I think, in playoff history. It's the biggest blown lead in Chargers history, so it's got to be the biggest blown lead in league history because nobody blows a lead like the Chargers.
And you hear a lot of guys talk about quarterbacks that can play well from behind. You have to be a good quarterback to play well from behind. Now, adding into the fact that you can play well from behind, win, and in the postseason, that earlier in your career, I only see good things ahead.
It's Schedule has some. I mean, they're playing the Browns, who are supposed to be formidable. The Saints. I like the Saints this year. Bills, Colts, Steelers. It's not easy. They get the Panthers though, and the Titans. Although the Titans look kind of promising. This schedule looks kind of tough to me. I don't know. You're the schedule guy, but I'm seeing some difficult games here on the schedule. But they're in the South. 9.5, 10 out of 17 games. I mean, they could do that. Maybe.
They don't build an oasis in the desert because they don't get things right. I'm just going to tell you that.
It's true.
It didn't come
$1
up out of the
billion
ground
renovation.
for nothing.
Hey, we're out here on the Jets are out here dropping kickoffs. That's how you don't even make the practice squad. You're cut tomorrow.
There's,
Can't
I mean,
drop
they're looking for people to cut. I mean, he might as well just pack his bags and leave.
Yep.
He might as well do the Forrest Gump and run through the tunnel.
That's the kid who gets kicked out of Saturday detention 5 minutes in because the teacher needs to prove a point, make an example, and one kid just can't help himself.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Out.
Yep, that's it for you.
Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
That's right.
Yep. We got the Colts, Chiefs, Texans, Falcons, Bills, Colts again, Saints. They kind of bounce around between good and bad teams. I think they win 10 games.
I just heard a lot of teams that have shaky quarterbacks.
Yeah.
New or shaky quarterbacks. Carr's, we'll see with Carr, but because you mentioned Saints, but yeah, I'm not hearing a lot of stud quarterbacks in that list. So I think 10. I think it's doable.
What's the Titans total?
Looks like they let's see, the Tennessee.
They got to be
Titans,
7, 8.
I thought 8.
7.5. I think they
7.5.
sail over that. Let's talk Titans. The Titans started out hot last season. They were 7-3, I think, and then they dropped 7 in a row. They just stopped winning football games. The 28th ranked defense was 12th in points allowed. They had the best rush defense and the worst pass defense, which is pretty hard to pull off. Former coach of the year, Mike Vrabel, returns. He's got Tim Kelly and Shane Bowen coaching his units. They lost Bud Dupree. I think that's going to hurt. And Robert Woods and Austin Hooper won't hurt as much. They got Arden Key from Jacksonville, Sean Murphy Bunting. They're the team that finally drafted Will Levis. They also drafted running back Tajay Spears, who whenever Derrick Henry finally clunks out, which might not even be this season at all, he's not a real human. He's like half machine. But if Derrick Henry were to get injured, the Spears kid wouldn't be a bad pickup in the old fantasy leagues. They drafted a guard named Peter Skoronsky, who just sounds like a guy who can block. And now they've also added DeAndre Hopkins, who, as coach would say, he's kind of goodish. And he's making some crazy catches in practice.
Yeah, the Titans are one of the teams that, to me, this season, are the biggest mystery, because I want to believe in Vrabel and I want to believe that he's on the right track and he's doing some good things down there. They had a very Titans-like draft and offseason, and but I look at what they did last season and they completely crumbled down the stretch. I just wonder how long the off-tackle run downhill Derrick Henry playbook can be a success in the NFL before we have to develop something else. And maybe they think they got that with the receiver that they got that's making spectacular preseason catches, which they still don't get any points for. So we'll see. We'll have to see. They're a big mystery to me. I don't know. Them and the Jags both. I mean, I think that's probably going to be a pillow fight at the top right there.
Win total, like I said, is 7.5. They're plus 350 to win the division. 80-1. Titans win the Super Bowl. They do. You got Hopkins and the kid they drafted last year. What the hell is his name? That I'm blanking. And then you got Chigakonkwo at tight end and Derrick Henry in the backfield. So I think you're in I think you're in good shape as long
Burks.
as those guys all stay healthy.
Burks.
Yes, Treylon Burks.
And let me tell you, I'm excited to see him in year 2. I really am, because I thought he made some pretty good strides towards the end of the year, especially since they were, lackluster in the offense department as a whole. But I like Burks, and I've liked him since they drafted him. I think there's a chance that he may turn out to be the fire plug that they really thought when they drafted him. I think that he may really be, and I think he might even outshine the new guy. New guy's old.
Yeah. Yeah, new guy is old. If he can get past these asthma issues or whatever he had going on. I thought coming out of college, he looked the most in that class like an NFL wide receiver, him and Jahan Dotson. Cole Cunningham is saying that was Malik Willis who dropped the kickoff. That's bad news for me. He was in my DraftKings lineup. I think he's done for the night. So that's probably negative points, I would assume. It should be.
Yeah. So we have the Titans and Jags at the top of the mountain here, and then a distant last would be a race for last in the Colts and Texans. Is that what you guys think?
Got to be.
I think it's I think it's Jags and then Titans, Texans, whoever's healthier, and Indy probably finishes last. They have a lot to adjust to.
Go ahead and give me the win totals on those two. The Colts and Texans.
The Colts are 6.5,
Ooh.
and the Texans are 6.5.
Oh, I like the under on both. What's the schedule look like?
No, I'm looking at
They're not,
the
neither one of those teams, I believe, go into Jacksonville and win. I don't really see them going into Tennessee and winning. I would love to see that. Let's run down the Colts and Texans schedule real briefly before we get on to a real division on the other side that I can't wait to talk about.
All right. Houston Texans schedule. At Baltimore, Indy at home, at Jags, Pittsburgh at home, at Atlanta, New Orleans at home, at Carolina, Tampa. They're back and forth. Like, they don't have a homestand until November 19th, where they play 3 at home.
Of all of those that you just named off, there was only one in there that I could go, they probably win that. The rest of them, woohoo! Get you some.
That's tough. I mean, it eases up a little with Carolina, Tampa, but then they have Cincinnati, Arizona. At least they get, an Arizona and an Indy in there. But yeah,
Cole's already blasting me and trying to come after me here. And like I always say, there's no fence built around me. But he's always reminding me that the Colts always beat the Jags. I'll take your money, son. I'll take your money right now on that.
I think the Colts beat the Jags, or the Jags beat the Colts a couple years ago and knocked everybody out of the survivor pools. Last year was the Texans beat them and knocked everybody out. The AFC South is weird, man.
It is weird. And they're only weird against each other.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole flow chart about what teams win where. Yeah. A lot of the road teams, I think. I don't know. We had a formula. Colts were 4-12, still not last in the division. Offense, defense, 30th and 28th in rushing and passing yard. They were bad. So they cut loose some of the expensive older guys, Matt Ryan, Yannick Ngakoue, Stephon Gilmore. Thank you for your service. They brought in Minshew, drafted Anthony Richardson for quarterback, so that's a little different than Matt Ryan. Wide receivers, Isaiah McKenzie, still in the league. Brashad Perriman, didn't know that. They also drafted Josh Downs, who they say is good. They can't say enough good things about that kid. No more Jeff Saturday. They have a real coach, Shane Steichen, comes in from Philadelphia, and he named Jim Bob Cooter his OC. That's a great first move. Let him know you mean business.
Best name in the biz.
Gus Bradley is going to coach the defense, the failed Chargers coach, but a lot of these guys, they're good coordinators. They're not head coaches. If you join the Dollar Bet Club and put $1 on the Indianapolis Colts to win the Super Bowl, you'd get $101 back. if
Not
they
this
actually
year.
did it.
Not this year. They got me last year. I will not do it this year.
I
Colts-
bet on them to win the Super Bowl last year too.
Those bastards. I went all in on the Colts last year and thought that they were going to be rainbows and sunshine. I thought that Frank Reich was the answer there. They were going to be great. I thought that Matty Ice was going to have a resurgence, and they promptly just slapped me in the face.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
I will not join that sinking ship again. I'll take the under at 6.5 all day long, and I'll take the under at 6.5 on the Texans too, who, if they magically win 4 or 5 games, it's going to be a resurgence because they were putrid last year.
Yep.
How many games they win last year?
4.
The Texans were 3-13-1 last year.
Oh,
yeah.
that's high.
So they win 5 games, and Ryan's or what the head coach down there? What is it?
D'Amico Ryan.
D'Amico can call it a win. They keep him around.
Yep. They had a top 10 pass defense. Everything else was 27th or worse as far as allowing or getting points and yards. They lost Brandon Cooks, but every team eventually does. Also, linebacker Agbania Okoronkwo, not to be confused with Chigoziem Okonkwo. They also lost Philip Dorsett and Chris Moore. Moore's a pretty good player. I think they should have kept him around to rebuild it. They brought in Case Keenum. Also, that guy's still in the league, I guess. And Devin Singletary, Shaq Mason, Greg Little to shore up the offensive line. Then they added Sheldon Rankins, Hassan Ridgeway.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't they not win the last 2 games of the season?
They beat the Bears.
There you go. I knew they beat the Bears, but
That was a Lovie Smith special, though.
That was a Lovie. That was.
At this organization, you're not getting the number 1 pick.
Yeah. That was good stuff. I enjoyed that.
Yep. And of course, they drafted CJ Stroud number 2 and Will Anderson number 3. All reports are that Will Anderson is as advertised in camp.
They're gonna need him. They're gonna need them both.
What did you say? Unblockable?
Yep.
I'm pretty certain that will look good. That'll look good till about week 4 on the injury report.
Man, there's so much best shape of his life. He's the quarterback's favorite receiver. Hasn't dropped the ball all week. Everybody's the best.
Yeah.
Everybody's so good at football right now.
And that is your July NFL beat reporter minute.
Yep.
Head coach D'Amico Ryans, offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, and DC Matt Burke. Matt Burke sounds like he sells insurance or installs granite countertops, not coaches defense. They're 10-1 to win the division, 200-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Holy
don't waste
shit.
your time.
Yeah.
Keep your money in your pocket. I'm all for long shots, but that one's just setting it on fire.
I'm trying to find 7 wins in here, and
You can't do it. You can't do it.
no. Even if you give them the Jets and like the Browns,
Not happening.
Yes. No.
Neither one.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they probably won't sweep the Colts either.
No, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. The 6.5 is I'll tell you what. I love the under at 6.5. I think that might be what I start my season wagering off with. 6.5 under on the Texans. I'll take it.
I haven't heard much about CJ Stroud. I'm surprised the 5'0" kid went before CJ Stroud just based on size. Taking it.
Well, it's an Ohio State quarterback, and I hate to say that because we've got one, but I feel like that's starting to become a little bit of a curse.
Yeah. Yeah. The Alabama quarterback jinx moved over. Jalen Hurts shook that. And now it's moved over to Ohio State.
You want to talk about a guy that really he just aligned his stars, man. Hurts is just a winner. He's just a winner.
Such a high character move to take that benching like he did and transfer and enter the draft. Just keep his head down and work.
That's all he did.
So I also mentioned the Ohio State quarterback thing, kind of joking, but also kind of serious. I think the thing that hurt him, if you remember, is he did not test well when it came to IQ or the
Wonderlic. Yeah.
The Wonderlic, and then the new metric, which probably is very accurate. Obviously, did not have him very high. Now, that doesn't mean he's not a great quarterback, but it is a red flag to a lot of organizations.
Stroud allegedly crushed this new, I don't know, 5S or whatever it's called.
No, he did bad. You're thinking Bama's quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why he dropped. Yeah, Young did like one of the best they've ever done.
That's right. Stroud had a terrible score,
and that's why he dropped. Yeah,
that's right. That's exactly right.
All right. Well,
so who would have thought somebody from Bama crushed somebody from the Ohio State University in an academic test? Suck it, Ohio State.
The Ohio State. Go beat Michigan, and then you can talk.
That's right.
Exactly.
Your coach has dead eyes.
That's exactly right. He's that guy. Woo. Anyhow, so let's move on to a great division, which I'm fired up about talking about. I'm more excited about this. This division right here is going to be the storyline of the NFL this year.
Well,
it's going to be a dogfight.
You guys know where I'm going here.
Yep.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Your Tampa Bay Bucks were 25th in scoring last year, 15th in points allowed. They won the division at 8-9 record. Brady said he would retire when he sucked, and he was true to his word. Now Todd Bowles returns to lead this team into battle with Baker Mayfield as his general, possibly. Latest reports are Kyle Trask is looking better than Baker here in early August. Notable additions, the aforementioned Baker Mayfield, Chase Edmonds. They drafted defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey, who a lot of smart football guys really like. Notable departures, Thomas Brady, Shaq Mason, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Lenny Fournette, Akeem Hicks, and Carl Nassib. Their win total is 6.5. They're plus 800 to win the NFC South. I know Coach is taking that bet. And they're 75-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Well, Coach is not taking that bet.
Colt says most competitive division in football.
It is going to be a good division, and it won't matter who starts week 1 because by week 5 it'll be Baker. And so I will say that I think Tampa surprises some people. I don't think they win the division though. I don't. I'm really high on another team in this division that people are sleeping on.
When you're talking about Kyle Trask looking good, your season is toast. I'm sorry.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble when you're saying stuff like that.
Yeah, because best case scenario for them is that Baker is just slinging that ball and they're singing his praises. But the fact that they're not means that they are in deep shit.
Yeah, Mike Evans says he's still the best receiver in the league. So at least they're not short on confidence.
Yeah, okay.
It's Baker Mayfield. What are we talking about right now?
Oh, you know.
There's a different. I'm sure Colt's over there. Loving on Baker.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, man, that guy, just when you think that's it, and he's pretty low on the totem pole these days. I think they're going to surprise some people. I really do.
Okay.
He's scrappy, but let's be honest. He is the opposite of a consistent football quarterback.
Let me remind you of what he is. He is the guy that you're rolling to McDonald's in the morning. How did we get here? We did it again.
Yep.
That shit hasn't changed since last year, Coach.
We don't need to go down and relive that, but I'll tell you, they I think they are going to be a little bit scrappy, and like I said, it doesn't matter who starts week 1. I think he'll end up being the guy either through injury or through winning the job or benching or some kind of debacle that happens there. And you know, as I look through the division here, pull up their schedule. You can find 7 or 8 wins in that. It's doable.
Minnesota's very depleted defensively.
That's not one of them, but
the Bears aren't one of them. Don't you dare say the Bears. Because I got that counted in my 9 to 10 win total for the Bears.
You got
the Bears. in Tampa Bay wearing those dark navy uniforms. They're
Wait,
gonna
wait, what? When though? When? Because that's a big one with Tampa.
Week 2.
Nah, fuck.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
row.
toss-up. That's a toss-up.
And they got
I think
Philly,
it's hot.
New Orleans, Detroit, Atlanta, Buffalo, Houston, Tennessee, San Francisco, Indy, Carolina, Atlanta, Green
You're
Bay.
going too fast. I can't. hardly
Winnable
scroll.
games in there.
There's winnable games, kids. Look at the schedule.
It's so funny. We look at schedules every time, and every time I say this is not a tough schedule. Who's got the tough schedules? I guess we got to check the playoff teams.
The
and win
Kansas City
NFC.
Chiefs.
Kansas City. Yeah.
We got to start talking about playoff teams.
Those who win divisions, the first place schedules. But that's what I mean. That's what Tampa did, and they got the Tennessee Titans here. Looks like they caught the AFC South, so they're pretty fortunate there.
Yeah.
Which is winnable games, kids.
Cole says Arizona is in deep talks with the Big 12. The Big 10 just ate up, I believe, Washington and Oregon, and now we're going to get Cal and
Big
Stanford
20.
as well.
It's going to be the
gonna
Big
be-
20.
And
It's going to be the SEC and the Big 10.
And if we're gonna shift gears here, let me just say, right up there with the NHL's marketing division, the Pac-12, and all their
R.I.P.
greatness. Those guys. I mean, you want to talk about the band playing on the Titanic?
Mhm.
Just slinging ballyhoo to anyone that'll listen for no reason. I
Hey,
mean,
they
but-
snoozed themselves out of a job.
sure they did.
But
Yeah.
don't worry, guys. They're negotiating with Apple for streaming rights.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody watches their stuff on Apple TV.
Oh yeah, that's why the MLS is killing it.
Yeah.
Messi excluded.
Yeah. So, back to the South here. We're gonna go ahead with. I'm telling you guys, I like the over of Tampa Bay 6.5. Then we want to move to Hot Atlanta next. You guys, I know you guys are high on them, and I am not at all.
Oh, I love the Falcons.
I mean,
Really?
I keep.
Are we
hearing
doing
that
this
from-
fucking Pitts deal again?
This?
No.
I will
I
never
traded
bet
Kyle
on a
Pitts
player
today.
drafted
Feel
from Texas
great.
ever.
Hmm.
Ever. There hasn't been a good one since Earl Campbell.
You're forgetting about Cedric Benson, son.
I didn't forget.
Oh, Bijan Robinson he's the greatest football player to ever snap a chin strap on.
Cheese and
You're
rice.
gonna see.
Cheese and rice.
You're gonna see. He's gonna
Now,
average
I mean-
6.5 receptions per game.
I
And
don't
he's
doubt
gonna
that he lights
break
it up
fantasy
for
football.
2 whole weeks of the season before he hits the injured train.
Yeah, you can't really hang your hat on a running back. We've danced around that topic, or not danced around, but we've alluded to that topic a million times on this podcast. I do love him, but yeah, I mean, he's still a running back.
He's not just a running back. He's a weapon.
Okay,
That's what
fair
they
got
Yeah,
That's
but
what they said.
so
him
I
on
gotta-
some swing routes.
I haven't
ask
heard
you
the
this.
cursed phrase CMC type roll. As long as they
Oh,
don't
gosh.
say that,
So
we're in
so
good shape.
so who will be flipping him the ball? Because there won't be any passing going on there. Who is their guy?
Taylor Heineke, he's there for
Oh,
when
my
Desmond Ritter
God.
sucks.
Because that worked
Taylor
out well for
Heineke
the
is a
Commandos.
serviceable quarterback. He can get the ball from A to B.
He's a worse version of Baker
Oh,
Mayfield.
No.
He'll
He's
steal a
he's
winner.
a dollar store Fitzpatrick. That's what
Okay.
They have
And
Drake.
if Fitzpatrick is a dollar store, what?
he's a one of a kind.
We're
Yeah,
at a garage
London.
sale now. We're not
Yeah,
at
I
a
know.
dollar store. We're
Ryan
at the fucking
Fitzpatrick
rummage
belongs in the
sale.
Hall of Fame. Just for
So
what he's added to the
so they
game.
still got the tight end that everybody's waiting to be great.
Kyle
Yeah.
Pitts coming off an MCL, still has a brace on his knee. I watched him run a route at camp and I traded him.
Is that a true
He
story?
ran one route and traded. Oh,
I said, nope,
No.
I'm out.
not again.
No,
And
thank
then
you.
and then they've got Drake.
I got Chigakonkwo. These tight ends are a total crapshoot unless you got Travis Kelce.
Well, the problem with Atlanta is they won't stop anybody. They're going to be the swinging gate defense. They're going to get a ton piled up on them. That's going to be the team that you circle on the calendar and you look for the opposing offense.
Oh, they added some defense. Bud Dupree, Calais Campbell, ever heard of him? Also Jeff Okuda, Mike Hughes, Jesse Bates, and Trey Flowers to reinvigorate the defensive secondary. But that's not enough to become a formidable defense, I don't
Trey
think.
Flowers, the
With some
old
retreads
chief.
there. Jesse Bates, I like. Trey Flowers he reminds me of Sendejo. He's just unreliable. You're going to get him once or twice.
That'll be good enough to get him 3 whole wins this year.
Mike Hughes runs really fast. He's not great in coverage. He's like 5'9". But if Campbell and Dupree and these guys can get after the quarterback, I believe they still got some of their other pass rushers from last year. Their win total is 8.5. Coach is clearly going under. They lost Mariota.
That's a better bet than the Texans.
Out of 17 games, you're not going to find 9.
500? 500? Pull up the schedule.
Let me see. I'm doing it right now.
I damn sure want to look at this.
Go to when you Google the schedule. Scroll down to
the AFC South.
What are we? Falcons schedule. Let's see here. We got week 1 Carolina. That's a win. Week 2 Green Bay at home. Maybe. Week 3 Detroit. They could win that game. Jacksonville, they'll probably lose that game. Houston, that's a win. Washington, they're not going to beat Washington. They could beat Tampa. They could beat Tennessee, maybe. They could beat Minnesota if they win in a shootout. And then Arizona, everybody's going to beat Arizona.
I don't see them beating the Vikings or the Lions.
Where is the Vikings game? Vikings game is at home in Atlanta, but boy, that's going to be a lot of points. Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson. Kyle Pitts might have a whole knee by then.
You're counting a lot of Atlanta Falcons points before we've seen anything. I'm just saying that.
I'm telling you right now, that 8 is a large number.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, they end with Carolina, Indy, Chicago, and New Orleans. They could split those. They could go 2-2 there easily.
Carolina, Indy, Chicago, and New Orleans.
I definitely count that as a win.
2-2 is a pipe dream.
Coach has no faith.
No.
So you're not interested in 28-1 to win the NFC or 60-1 to win the Super Bowl?
I'm not interested in
any statistics. They're not doing anything because the bottom line is they're not a good football team.
Absolutely true. John is 100% right on that. Next team. Moving on.
They switched out a lot of personnel. All right.
Stop convincing yourself. Go with the experts. It's not happening.
Carolina Panthers.
Here's a team you got to watch out for.
They were 19th in scoring last year, 17th in points allowed. Very Packers-esque. They tied with Atlanta and New Orleans for second place with a 7-10 record. The 3 teams. One team won at 9-8, and the other 3 were all 7-10. Very strange season in the South. Frank Reich is going to develop number 1 pick Bryce Young. Hopefully he can teach him to see through helmets and shoulder pads. Andy Dalton is there to back him up. They also signed Miles Sanders for a ton of money. Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Hayden Hurst, and Von Bell, the safety. They also drafted wide receiver Jonathan Mingo and a couple defensive players. Mingo. I love a great name. Some talent left town, though. DJ Moore, Deonta Foreman, Sam Darnold. I mean, you're not going to miss those guys. Panthers win total is 7.5. They are 4-1 to win the division. Super Bowl would pay 70-1. Are we betting on the Carolina Panthers to win the Super Bowl? I mean, I'm probably not. I think I think people are overestimating how much they lost in DJ Moore. I don't think they were really knowing what to do with him in the first place, and the Bears aren't gonna either.
Hey.
So I don't think they're gonna be freaking out about DJ.
Number 1, Cole, where's your fucking mullet? Is this your college cut?
Yeah,
ready to go? Oh, look at that. It's not bad. It's not Austin.
I had to trim it.
It's not Kenny Powers. Is that a dorm?
It.
Is that a dorm room requirement?
No, I trimmed it a few weeks ago, but it'll be back before I know it. So,
what's up with you fucking kids and your porn stashes? Fucking grow a beard or get out of here.
Mine looks good.
Weird, ain't it?
First
Mine
of
looks
all.
good. Oh, as long as you say so.
I like it.
How's everything going, brother? You ready for your freshman year of college?
I guess.
That's awesome.
I guess that's good enough.
You gonna do that in about 4 months, like your old man?
Yeah, no.
You gonna play any ball out there? No,
I'll play
Hang up,
intramurals.
you are. Okay, nice. Who are you gonna play for?
Whoever wants to win.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. All right. We're talking Panthers. You have any
Yeah,
any
give
thoughts
us
on the
your
Panthers?
give us your South stuff.
The South-
CJ
the
Stroud
South
would
is
be.
going to be good.
My thought was the Panthers have nothing to lose and they've got a ton of upside. Do you
Uh,
agree or disagree?
Yeah, but I think if you look at all four of the teams, well, I think the Saints are going to win the division. Their schedule's really easy too. So
Yeah.
when I looked at it, I think the Saints are going to win by a decent margin. But the Falcons are going to run the ball. They ran the ball like third most in the league or whatever. They just run the ball and they just drafted Bijan, so I think they're just going to get in
Are
like.
you on Bijan's nutsack?
Between
No,
him
I-
and Algier, that's going to be a lot of.
Yeah, I
rushing.
know. I don't know why they drafted him because Algier's pretty good. He ran for 1,000 yards last year, and then they just got a replacement for him. But I think the Saints are going to win. The Bucks will be a question mark. I don't know. I don't think Todd Bowles is like too good. I think he's
No.
just like a mediocre coach. But they got Baker, so I'll be rooting for them. And their offense is good, but. Yeah, and then the Panthers are really young. Like they're a young team. They could surprise some people, but I just don't see it this year happening unless Bryce Young is like otherworldly.
Yeah, they could be that team who doesn't know any better and they don't realize they're supposed to suck and they just win 5-6 games. That does happen once in a while. I don't know. I'll have to see this short kid do something. Is he shorter than Kyler Murray?
I have no idea.
No. Kyler Murray's like
No.
5'8".
Oh my goodness.
What we got?
They talking about Bryce Young.
Who?
Yikes.
Bryce Young.
I saw people saying that Kyler might be ready for week 1. I would be shocked if
Yeah,
that happened.
I don't think
I don't
he's gonna
see
play
him,
week
like-
one.
Pushing it to get on the field.
I think that the Cardinals are in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they got Colt McCoy as their backup quarterback, and that guy is terrible. And anyone that plays fantasy knows that the Cardinals players are going to be terrible unless Colt McCoy is just checking it down to James Conner. I don't think I'm gonna pick a single Cardinals player until maybe you could keep Kyler and stash him, but by the time Kyler's back, the Cardinals could be so far out. Like they could be. Whatever
might
week he
decide
comes
not
back,
to
they
even-
could be over. They could be in the
Yeah.
run for Caleb Williams because that's what this year's going to be. Is whoever gets the first pick is going to pick Caleb Williams. So
Yeah, if they're
he could end
1-6,
up getting moved. Mhm.
0-7, they're gonna say, you know what, Kyler, we're just gonna shut it down. There's no reason to put you out there.
Mhm.
We just spent all this money, this contract that you had to have, and now we
if
can't
you're-
risk it.
If you're the Cardinals, though, what do you I mean, that doesn't benefit you. Getting Caleb Williams does nothing. I mean, they're already paying a quarterback. Are you going to deal Murray?
Yeah.
There's
I
a
would.
there's a sucker out there who'll take him.
Kyler's a stud.
I mean, Green Bay's going to be in the market after this year.
There's an offensive coordinator with an ego who says I could make Kyler a Pro Bowl quarterback.
He is. He's good.
Maybe
He's
it's
a good quarterback.
Probably LaFleur.
I mean, wasn't he the best high school quarterback in Texas State history?
Yeah, he didn't.
Hey,
lose.
I mean,
on his way to Dallas.
I think part of his problem is he's never been told he sucks.
I'm kicking Chris's cage. He's not even saying anything. I'm giving you pearls here. You're not even paying attention.
He's networking.
I'm just trying to share shit.
I got
He's
you.
out here.
I got you.
Hey, we got Deshaun Watson on the TV. How many tugs does he throw this year?
I think the
Many,
Browns-
35 plus.
You just traded for him. That's why you're saying that.
And they better
Tugs.
chill out with the scoring, though.
Was that no pun intended?
No, I did that on purpose because I don't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
care
yeah.
about the Browns.
Oh no! Hey, get that dude.
So
Okay, we got to hold. Okay, that's why you take the unders. These
So-
guys don't know what they're doing.
So let's spin this on to the class of the field here. The New Orleans football.
New
Saints.
Orleans, the Nolan Saints. They were
I like
22nd in
them a lot.
scoring, 9th in points allowed, leading them to a 7-10 record. Hope springs eternal unless you're Alvin Kamara. He's having a rough summer. Dennis Allen is the head coach. That's the guy we can never remember his name, like collectively as a show. Dennis Allen.
What's the over and under set at then?
9.5.
I was gonna. I think I'd still hit over. Their schedule is really easy.
They don't play an outside game. They don't play a cold game, or they don't play a cold. They play a couple outside games, but they're warm. They play like at Tampa. Shit
I think
like
Derek
that.
Carr is going to be good this year.
I also believe that is going to be true. I think that I think they're going to be the class of the field here, and I think that they probably are. They're going to be one of those teams that has a mighty record going into the playoffs and then gets shelled because they have to step outside.
They don't really have to. I'm going to find their schedule here. Saints. There we go. They're basically their travel isn't much, and they're not like up in Green Bay or anything. Tennessee at Carolina at Green Bay in late September. Tampa at New England the first week in October, at Houston. Jags at Indy. Bears at home, at Minnesota, at Atlanta. Detroit at home, Carolina at home, the Giants at home, at Rams, at Tampa, Atlanta at home. There's not a cold football game in there.
Woo. I think the over for the Saints. And I think
Chris Olave might be a top 12 receiver in fantasy this year.
maybe if Michael Thomas will actually play a little bit.
God, that would be nice, huh?
He had played in like 2 years, but
He says he's on schedule. He said all that shit last year, though.
until week 1 where he like gets turf toe or something.
Yep.
And Kamara is going to get suspended is what I heard.
I think you got video of it happening, which they beat the shit out of
It's
that.
brutal. We've all seen it, but it is
And-
brutal.
On top of the video, you have audio of them in the limo, like laughing and high-fiving about it. So
But
I
let's
think
be
that
honest.
makes it a minimum of 4.
Okay, so he sets for 4. Their schedule's soft enough that they'll be just fine.
And
And Jamal Williams is plenty good.
Yeah,
Is he going to go to jail?
no.
You don't
guys
go to jail. You don't go to jail or
You
almost
don't go to
killing
jail if
somebody?
you make $16 million.
Do you think people with money go to jail? It's called attorneys. They can pay them. They can afford it.
Jeffrey Epstein seemed to go to jail. He died in there. He had a
That's
lot of money.
That's a horse of a different color, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, that's way more than breaking an orbital bone. Yeah. But they messed that guy up.
Good old-fashioned street violence does not equate to a bad crime in the United States.
Just a few classes in the deferred.
That's what that'll be.
Huh.
A lot of sentimental regret.
Yep, that'll get pled down to a domestic.
He'll be given a class for the Players Association on what not to do from now on, and everything will be fine.
Well, let's see. Doug Marrone is an O-line coach in New Orleans. It's a fun fact, or a mundane fact. A lot of dudes left. Andy Dalton, Mark Ingram, Jarvis Landry, Marcus Davenport. I think that's the first one of any importance. Caden Ellis, Bradley Roby, Dan Sorensen. I didn't even know Dan Sorensen was playing for them. Didn't he play for the Vikings?
I know he was a longtime Chief. He was terrible, so.
Oh, John, you got to get out of here. All right. Thank you for your service. We will see you
John.
soon.
John, be good, brother.
We'll be talking soon, boys.
Absolutely. Yeah, the win total's 9.5. I think we've all talked each other into the over. They're 40-1 to win the Super Bowl. I kind of
Not-
like that with how
not
the
a bad
NFC
bet.
is wide open.
Not a bad bet.
get in there, you get the 1 seed, or the 2 seed.
Especially looking at that schedule.
Yep.
New Orleans will be a fun place to play for somebody in the playoffs.
I have already bet Saints to be the last undefeated team 25-1.
Ooh, I like that. I like that
Yeah.
a lot.
Hey, before you get out of here, Cole, we need to break a little bit of the NFC North down with you, or give us your predictions before you get out of here.
That division's really good too. I'm not a big Justin Fields guy. Like,
No.
he's a good runner, but I've yet to see like anything where he's just been slinging the rock and like just looked like a natural. Like everyone compares him to like Lamar Jackson, and they're naming him like top 10 quarterback. I don't see that yet, and I don't know a whole lot about. They have Matt Eberflus as their coach. I don't really know about that. I don't think their defense is too good. Green Bay, I think, has the best like overall roster in the division. Maybe I'm a little biased, but the wide receivers are a little lacking, but the O-line's still good. If Bakhtiari can ever play, that left side will be good.
I was up at spring training last week, and they look good. Christian looked good. Aaron looked good. Everybody was there. Gary was out there taking snaps off the fucking line.
Their defense is good, but the team that I think is, if I had to guess, the Lions are going to be really good. Campbell's a really good coach.
God, he is.
He's so good, and
he's
Goff,
motivating.
Goff he did his thing last year. I mean, they beat Green Bay in that last week, which sucked, but
yeah.
They the Lions are good. The Vikings, their defense is like non-existent. They lost Eric Kendricks. I don't know if they brought in anyone to replace him. I know they just re-signed Danielle Hunter not too long ago, but it was a 1-year deal, and he's already hurt. They let go of Zadarius Smith. He went to Cleveland. So their offense will be good, and they let go of Dalvin Cook too. So I don't know what the Vikings are really trying to do. They let go of Thielen, Cook, and I know they drafted Jordan Addison and they have Jefferson, but their games are going to be shootouts. It's going to be. I don't think they can stop.
Get to the good stuff. I want to talk about Jordan Love, and I want all your opinions about him.
Yeah, they cut the whole
our season kind of rest on that guy.
Every clip I've seen so far through training camp, I'm sure I'm just seeing all the good ones, but he seems to be spinning it. He looks good.
Because he's a goddamn Hall of Famer.
Easy.
Hopefully.
Easy.
I mean,
no.
The good thing is that if he isn't, this next class with Caleb Williams and Drake May from North Carolina, those two guys are good. And if Rodgers plays a decent amount, Green Bay will have 2 firsts, so they could trade up if
they could move up and do it. I mean, it would take some balls that they usually don't have.
That.
Well, here's the deal.
That would blow mine
right there.
If they traded like the 10th and the 15th to move up, or I guess you'd have to have a top 5 probably to even.
Well, you guys are missing the boat on this, and here's why. Because
Jordan Love looks good. He's going to win 10 games.
No. If Green Bay wins 10 games, it's not going to be because of Jordan Love. It's going to be because they line up and run the ball. And running the ball and playing defense in the North translates to victories. And that's what their game plan is going to be.
Backs back there.
Absolutely. And if they're smart, they line up and just run it over people. That's where their offense is going to be successful.
I'll tell you what. When Christian Watson was riding that little kid's bike down the fucking lane last week, that dude is so fucking tall. I had no idea until I thought, Aaron Jones looks pretty small. That's a big fucking dude.
Yeah.
He put his hand on Reagan's head, and it was like the whole thing. I'm like, how do you ever fumble a football, guy? How?
Yeah. How do you ever drop one?
Touch your freaking middle finger and your thumb around the damn thing.
The Packers wideouts are questionable too, because Watson was really good at the end of the year, but Dobbs, everyone says he's been so good in camp, and I saw a clip where he mossed Jair, but last year in season he had butterfingers. He literally was dropping everything.
I think some of that was I think Rodgers intimidates those kids.
Yeah.
I think they
Big
get real
time.
scared to fucking drop it, to get in their fucking head, because he will write you off. And I think they're going to play looser with Jordan, and Jordan is going to have a Hall of Fame career. And this is an MVP season. This is a title town. It's coming back. We have
I like it.
Quadzilla, Aaron Jones behind you. Got Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. I mean, it's over, fellas. It's over.
The only way Green Bay wins the division is if they put in the option.
We're gonna call up the Air Force and steal the playbook, baby.
I said what I said. They put in the option. They win the division.
We're going military.
Hey,
Yeah.
whatever works.
There you go.
I think
Run it till they stop it.
everyone in this division will be like from the 7 to 10 win range. I
I
think
would
it'll be
agree.
really
Yeah.
competitive.
Who's gonna come out to the playoffs from this division?
Well, me being biased,
Only
I'm-
the team
I'm
that
gonna-
wins.
I'm gonna keep saying Green Bay. But
Yeah, I got Green Bay
if,
coming in.
If it isn't
Prove me
Green
wrong.
Bay, I think it's gonna be Detroit. If it isn't Green Bay, which I don't think Minnesota's defense is good at all, and I don't think
No,
the Bears
they're
are
gonna
there yet.
Real hard time.
You like Brandon Claypool? You like those receivers down there? They got some receivers. Mooney, right? Still down
Mooney's
there?
pretty good.
Yeah, Mooney's pretty good. I don't like Chase Claypool a whole lot.
Oh
He-
yeah, Chase
he's a-
Claypool.
He's real immature. He's always
Yeah.
Is he
doing some
really?
dumb shit that's not football. Like he's always on tick. He's a lot like Juju.
Juju.
Smith-Schuster.
But without that kind of talent.
Yeah, I think Juju better. Oh, that's where he learned it. Pittsburgh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Claypool came out and said that he was like a top 3 wide receiver in the league. He came out on a podcast, the Brandon.
Can I do
Marshall
that on this
podcast.
podcast? I'm a top 3 receiver in the league.
I
baby.
love how George Pickens said that he's like a creative player on Madden. He's like, I'm a 99 everything.
Yeah, Pickens is pretty good.
I
mean,
love that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. This division, the NFC is pretty wide open. I mean, the Eagles, Dallas, and San Fran are probably the top 3. But
Who?
anyone besides that,
Who? No. No.
San Francisco's going to be formidable.
San
Dallas
Francisco will, but that other team, no.
No.
I
Who,
mean,
Dallas?
Dallas will lose in
They're
the
gonna
first,
implode.
second round. I'm
Oh,
not saying that, but
I'm
I
going to
think
tell
that-
you that.
first of
Dallas
all, I
doesn't
think the
make
Reds-
playoffs.
I think the Redskins come out of there, and the Redskins are the Eagles.
This
So
is going to be
what's
McCarthy's
going on in Dallas?
swan song.
You texted some.
Oh,
drama,
yeah.
brother.
Practice, I think yesterday, probably. Trayvon Diggs told Dak Prescott to shut your bitch ass up. And now he's doing we're all brothers. We all love each other. Like, I've never seen a man say that to another man in any kind of like conditional love way.
Yeah,
Like, it's always been extreme disrespect.
yeah, they're headed down a road to ruin.
I mean,
McCarthy's going to drive that bus.
He's
right
got his
off
hands
the
full. He's going to have to smash another watermelon here or something.
I'm all for the Dallas downfall. I can't
Absolutely.
stand them. All their fans, my buddies are Dallas fans. I can't stand them.
I'd like
hate
to see him
Dallas.
land right in that 23 spot where they don't get Caleb, but they don't get shit.
Yeah, where they make the playoffs and they lose in round 1, or they
Yeah.
just miss
9
out
and
on the
8.
playoffs. Mm-hmm.
That would be
that'll
ideal.
interesting. NFC is
Maximum
open
pain.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I mean, it's like Talladega. Anybody could come out of that, catch a 3-4 game winning streak, or so the Eagles lost the Super Bowl in a heartbreaking fashion. They played an extra long season. The team that does that usually sucks the next year. I'm not sure we can pencil in the Eagles as the best team. That juju is strong.
Yeah,
I think the 49ers are the class of the NFC.
the
7th
system,
round pick, Brocktober Purdy.
Well, the system with Shanahan, any quarterback can play. That like they I saw stuff out of camp that said Darnold looks good. Darnold.
I
hasn't
was
looked
going
good
to
his
say,
whole
I
career.
bet we see one game where Darnold comes out and throws like 250 and 2 touchdowns. And
Yeah, any quarterback in the Shanahan system is just gold because
So you
they
go
have
there.
so many weapons.
If you go there and you're coachable and you just shut up and listen, then you're gonna win games.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
That's
Well,
what,
and
I
that's-
don't.
So
think-
that's a Brock Purdy right there. That's his
But-
that's his bag, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let's not forget he has the best back in the NFL right behind him that he can check down to.
That's a nice thing. That's a nice peace of mind.
Their
to have.
weapons are really good, but I mean, I don't think Brock Purdy's I don't think he's very good. He's just an average quarterback that does what he's supposed to in that offense.
Yeah,
When you have
he's
Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, and one of the best lines, you just can't. You have to do the simple stuff.
Well, he doesn't have to be a star.
against like the Minnesota Vikings. I bet Cole Cunningham could throw for 200 yards with the San Francisco offense. And Shanahan coaching him up. Like it's a lot of paint by numbers stuff. Just fucking drop back, throw it to that spot. And Christian McCaffrey, he knows where to be. He's a Stanford guy.
Hey, real quick, Cole. You don't come on enough. Can you run us down your top 5?
Yeah, we got to do some college football stuff with him.
Well, yeah. First, we'll do fantasy, then we'll get into some college real quick. But let's run down the top 5 running backs for fantasy in your head.
Okay,
drafting, not dynasty, just like regular redraft.
Okay, so 1, I'd pick Eckler. If it's straight RBs, no wideouts, RBs, Eckler 1, McCaffrey 2. I think those are the clear top 3, and then there's a next tier, like it's McCaffrey.
Who's the third?
3, there's
that's where it gets tricky. Okay.
I'm trying. I don't want to say Bijan at 3 because I usually don't. I'm not a big rookie running back, like stuff like that. But he's just going to get so many touches. They drafted him early. He's going to be a stud. So I'd say Bijan. Oh, Barkley. I'd put Barkley 3, Bijan 4 because Barkley signed that deal. That means he's going to play. If he's healthy, he'll be a top back. And then
so what scares me is this running back by committee, right? It starts to really water down good backs like Aaron Jones. We should be saying Aaron Jones, but he's got A.J. Dillon behind right there. And they may share the backfield some this year.
Yeah.
That's
how it is with they're only I wouldn't say Jonathan Taylor too, but he's sitting out and the owner said that they may trade him and just their owner is just there?
Half of the good running backs are fighting with their owners.
Taylor and Jacobs both are they wanted a new contract and they're just not getting it.
But Irsay is going to ship a Shamu and put him back in the Pacific Ocean. He ain't got time to talk or anything with JT.
He can't re-sign his best running back after he came out and
what
said
is going on.
Part of Peyton Manning's success was he had Edgerrin James, who's a Hall of Fame running back. Mm-hmm. So you have Anthony Richardson. You want to give him one of the best backs in the league. Like last year, there were talks about Taylor being the best back in the NFL. He just came off that good year. Last year he was hurt and he wasn't great, but he's still a really good running back. So I don't know. And their room isn't any good. Like they don't have a backup that's like, all right, that guy's like he can take over.
Aaron Jones. They don't have a Dillon.
They just have like a bunch of people that can play a snap when Taylor needs a snap out. And then he snaps.
Practice squad
checks
guys.
back in.
Well, they don't even. I mean, his backup Zach Moss just broke his forearm, so they really have nothing in Indy.
Now it's just whoever. I mean, I'm sure Taylor's gonna end up playing, but who knows how? That's why I'm not drafting Taylor Jacobs. I'm staying away until something gets said because Jacobs could sit out halfway into the season
and might do it. Might do it just for spite.
He gets fined per game, but I mean, he literally could sit out that long. Dalvin Cook hadn't signed anywhere, but the rumors of him going to the Jets, if he goes to the Jets, he's going to split with Breece Hall the whole year. So that degrades 2 running backs. Yeah. So it's just the running backs.
Green Hunt's going to go somewhere.
Leonard Fournette, Zeke, like all of these guys are going to sign somewhere. They're probably just waiting on injuries or something.
I think Denver and Dallas probably have to pick up one of these guys. And they're going to come in and just shit all over your fantasy team.
Yep.
They're going to cut your running back in half.
If I had to say the top 5, like set stone, I'd go Eckler, McCaffrey, Barkley, Bijan, and 5, I'd probably say Pollard or Chubb. I mean, Henry's still there, but he's getting older for a running back, and he He gets the
So
ball
many
first and
carries.
second down every drive. He's getting the ball first and second down is what it seems like. And anything short, he's getting the ball again. So I still like Henry. He's a tank, but
He's
and he
just
doesn't
fun to
catch-
have on your fantasy team too.
he didn't
Because
catch the
he's a
ball
bell
a lot.
cow. He's the last of a dying breed of bell cow running backs.
Yeah.
That's the fantasy ways are shaping because like the past few years it's been you pick your stud running backs early and you can wait. Now it's kind of shifting to you got to try to get a running back that like last year the Jamal Williams of the world where he scores 20 touchdowns out of nowhere and he's a perfect RB2 for someone that picked him in round 10 or whatever. You just got to get lucky with stuff like that.
Yeah, the days of like I've started drafts with 3 running backs before because
Yeah.
as long as you have
I know
if you get
last year
two
last-
top 10 running backs, it's a lock.
Last year in one of my leagues, I went running back, wide receiver, running back, but there's no chance I do that this year. There's you can't do it.
No, especially I mean you can grab a Rashad Penny or a Miles Sanders or a James Conner in like the 6th or the 7th round. That
Guys
guy's
like
going to get
that.
you close to the same points that somebody in the first round is going
Yeah,
to
he
get.
may not
you.
have the same ceiling, but he's going to do all right.
Yeah.
And
That
you'll have a
plus,
position advantage somewhere else.
Yeah, that plus the wide receiver you took in the 2nd instead of the running back makes it worth it. Yeah, it's like these wide receivers are just outscoring the running backs.
Like I'm not saying just totally fade all the running backs, but you definitely now have to be more aware of. We're past the time where the top of the board was Gurley, Bell, David Johnson, where those 3 guys were going 1, 2, 3, and there was no one saying anything because
it used to be like 8 of the first 10 picks would be running backs.
Yeah, and the 2 that would sneak in were like Antonio Brown and Odell. That was it.
Yeah.
The rest were running backs.
Yep. Yeah, gone are the days. These kids and their 0 RB, they forced it into existence. I wonder what the league looks like in 5-10 years when all these running backs are now switching to linebacker or being told by their parents to play a different position. Like, I wonder if we're going to have a shortage of quality running backs, and then it becomes even more of a passing.
But that's the thing is there's always a running back that can do something. Like if you obviously the thing that gets used the most is in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl winner, their leading rusher hadn't been like. I don't know what the number is, 5 million or something, but none of those the leading rushers that the team won the Super Bowl have been worth anything. And the Chiefs have been good, and they haven't paid anyone. You just look at all those guys. The Eagles, they let Miles Sanders walk. They weren't paying him. I know they just brought in Penny and Swift, but you're still not paying them premium running back money. So it's just one thing to think about.
Yeah, the Eagles understand that these guys go down like every other week.
They carry 4 backs, and they can just.
Well, you got to think about it. The Chiefs invented that game plan because they started out with what Hunt, and then they've hit with.
They had Spencer Ware.
His name is. They've hit on some drafts, so it works out.
Yeah, I mean, they got the latest kid in like the 6th or 7th, I think 7th round. These 7th round picks. I don't know if the scouts aren't doing their jobs or if the average quality of the college player is better, but
I think
7th round picks didn't used to hit like this.
I think it's the position because running backs aren't getting taken that
they're just falling tiers down.
Because you got to value different positions over running back now. Like if you made a list, would you rather have here's a question: would you rather have Justin Tucker, who's the best kicker in the league, or have one of the best running backs? Or you could flip them and have you'd have Tucker and a mid-tier running back, or would you rather have McCaffrey and a mid-tier kicker?
Yeah, I mean.
It's all points, right? But so fantasy football drafts have changed dramatically since we started playing. Because it was you had to get your running back first, or you
that's what it was. It was
that's antiquated thinking.
It is. Now it's Jefferson,
Chase,
Chase, fucking Hill.
People taking a running back in the first round are your guys that don't know any better that are first.
Well, they're guys like me.
Yeah, we were the last holdout.
Yeah,
I've
been all over running backs. Like the past couple years, me and Coy, we've been all over running backs. Everyone else has been going elsewhere, and we've just been like, "What is happening?" But what happens is they get hurt, and then your first round pick
hurt, but their touches are limited. You want the guy that touches the ball the most on your team.
The way all the new defensive rules have played out over the years, it's a wide receiver game. Like
you can just throw it
up.
You
can't defend him anymore.
Most of the time, there's a flag or he's catching it.
Yeah, you can't defend him like you used
to.
And
that's what the offense is catered to. It's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Especially if you have a guy like Jefferson or Hill, like you just tell him to run deep and you're throwing it near him. You come down with it, or
I promise you, the third down play calling has changed immensely in the last 3 years because that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. How many drafts have you done so far, Colt, this year? Are you in any other redrafts?
I am, but I haven't had any drafts yet. I've done a bunch of mock drafts, like a bunch of mock drafts.
So what do your first 2 rounds look like right now? As it sits in your mock draft?
In Coy's league, I got pick 5. So I've been doing a bunch of mock drafts, 5 PPR, 12-team league, and it feels like 5's the cutoff from the top 4. The consensus top 4 is Eckler, McCaffrey, Chase, and Jefferson. So
how are they going?
That's varying? The top 4, yeah.
Okay.
That just seems like the consensus top 4. So I've been like trying to mix it up. I've gone Cup. I'm leaning Cup, but there's also I could go Kelsey and have the tight end advantage. I've also thought about going. I can't really buy in on the Bijan pick yet, but I still got a bunch of mock drafts to do. I've still got some more prep, but it's definitely interesting on how the draft is going to actually play out because it always changes. And then the rookie draft doesn't really mean anything, but we'll have the belt league too. We'll have it late though. We're having this one early. Like our draft, I think, is the 26th or 27th.
We're the last dynasty league that I know that most of them drafted right after the draft.
Yeah.
Oh, the rookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
We're drafting rookies on Sunday.
And I think free agents are in the draft too. I'm pretty sure we voted on that last year.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Matson up in Minnesota? Is he a go-getter?
I would say, well, in the rookie draft, obviously Bijan's going to go 1. Eric's
No. I mean Matson up in Minnesota. I apologize.
Oh, Alexander.
What do you think about this guy?
He's been really good. I have Cook, so I never had the handcuff, but he's been really good when Cook's been out or he hadn't been playing. But I don't know if he can string it together for a whole year. I feel like Minnesota is going to be one of those teams where they try to like rely on Madison a whole lot, and then at the end,
Jefferson too.
they start rotating another guy in, and they start splitting. That's just how I kind of see it.
Yeah, they got Ty Chandler. They always talk about him in the preseason like he's good, but then he never sees any actual carries in the season.
Yeah, it's just a smoke screen.
It's going to have to be somebody who can catch the ball because I think they're going to be down 10 points quite often.
Yeah, the way you talked about the defense, they better hope Jefferson has a career year.
He's in line for one, so
yeah. All the experts love him. Him and Chase. Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, that's who if I had to pick one, that's who I would pick. I would pick Jefferson.
Yep. I had Chase ahead of him, but now I'm worried about this Burrow calf thing.
And the thing that the Bengals have a bunch of other weapons compared to the Vikings too. It seems like if the Vikings go down, they're going to have to force it to Jefferson. Get the best player on the field. The ball.
Yeah, he's
the Bengals have got Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. They saw Joe Mixon. They just signed Irv Smith from the Vikings, tight end. I've drafted the past 2 years who's been hurt all year. So I've just ended up the Vikings have Hawkinson too. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
It's still
He's good.
That's
serviceable.
It's just the group around him. Most of the time Jefferson's the best player on the field. So you just got to find people like that the ball
on both teams. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I concur. Boy, we got to get this kid on here more.
Yeah, I never get him on. Now I want to talk, but we haven't got a college yet.
He'll be back. He'll come back next week.
Yeah, I think like during the season.
Do you run his schedule, Chris?
Yep. I do run his schedule till next week.
During the season, we should get his. We should check in with him.
Yeah, well, this is the big 12 year, right? So this is the last year OU and Texas will be there.
Very big. Did y'all see my comment earlier? Arizona's in deep talks to join the Big 12 while y'all were live.
If Arizona comes, Arizona State comes.
Arizona isn't very good at football though, and football is the one that matters. I mean, just playing up football.
Well, no, let's not. I mean,
now basketball makes money.
You can win there.
They make money, but football's the one.
Did they have a Stoops there for a little while?
They did. They had a Stoops there for a while. They weren't very good, but you can win there. They've won before.
Let's talk about who's in the Big 12 today.
Okay.
Right now,
is OU gonna run away with this year?
No.
Or is Texas?
I
hear a lot about Texas. Here we go.
Texas is gonna be good. OU's still gonna be good. I know Kansas State's up. They're still gonna be good.
Kansas State's gonna win the league.
Texas lost Roshan and Bijan.
Yeah,
they
but
have a couple more. They're like shark teeth.
Ewers can spin it, and they still got their wideouts. I think that OU and Texas are the top two consensus, but I'm not gonna go on to say OU went 6-7 last year.
Yeah,
and they lost that close game to Florida State in the year, but Venables is recruited he has an insanely high recruiting class for them going 6-7. So obviously something is going right for them right now. They got Gabriel's coming back, and if Gabriel starts to suck, they got the 5-star Jackson Arnold behind him, who should be a baller. So I think that OU is going to be good. I had to guess 9-3, because there's always teams like Iowa State. They're hard to play. I don't know how much they're.
K-State's going to be hard to play.
Yeah, K-State. TCU is going to be good again. I mean,
sometimes OSU will get them. You never know.
Yeah,
Baylor's good.
How does Oklahoma State look this year, Cole? Have you kind of seen?
I don't like Oklahoma State this year, whole lot. I think they'll be 6-6, 7-5, buffering around that range. I think they're gonna get to a bowl game because Gundy's a good enough coach and that they usually take care of business against the teams they should beat. It's just the teams the tough games that seems like
the Ames, Iowa at night, Thursday night.
Those seem to be like the ones that get to Gundy, or the games that they shouldn't usually win. So I don't know. I mean, if I had to guess, I hate saying it, but Texas is probably the lead one.
Jiminy.
Who's spinning it in Stillwater right now?
Alan Bowman. He's a transfer from, I think
Michigan.
He was originally at Tech, and then he went.
That's where Michigan, I've seen that.
And then he was at OSU now, but
so he's bounced around a little bit. Is the Gundy kid behind him? Is he any good?
So. I don't know how good he is.
Gunner.
No, Gunner. Gage is in high school.
Okay.
We played against him last year, and he just spun it all around.
Is he good?
Yeah, he's good
at high school level.
Too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
how about Gavin?
Gunner's there now.
And Gavin's the baby.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Gavin's a sophomore this year, I think.
Mm.
Well,
Big 12 should be good.
Who's your national champion?
Probably one of the top dogs, Georgia, or Bama. Those.
Yeah.
It seems like every year it's just a flip flop between which one.
Yeah, this is your last year to talk shit for OU because it's all downhill from here, brother.
You can get Alabama 5-1 to win the
Hey,
national.
when they expand to 12, you're gonna
when they get to put SEC on the uniform, now they'll beat everybody. You were just talking about they might lose to Iowa State.
Yeah,
this is a fucking SEC, Cole.
There's steps. Look. It's like last year was here. This year they're going up here, and then you get to the SEC and you're playing the best teams. So like
getting your ass kicked.
Half of the teams in the SEC, I'm convinced you can beat. Like if you the whole East besides.
Did you convince yourself that in your dreams?
Listen, pull up the SEC East.
It's not hard to step up from 6 and 7.
Look at all the teams in the SEC East, and it's Georgia, and then OU can beat every team below that, and then in the West.
Yeah. For sure, because Bama sucks. I don't know.
Bama's in the West. Bama's in the West. So is Arkansas. The West is like Bama, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, LSU, Auburn,
Tennessee.
No, Tennessee's in the East.
Oh, that's right.
Vandy.
Yeah, no, Vanderbilt's in the East too. Florida's in the East. Missouri's in the East.
Mississippi State.
A&M.
West. A&M's in the West. That A&M's a dumpster fire right now.
Wow, what's going on there, man?
They're just.
That's what OU's going to look like. I'm telling you.
No,
they're going to be the new A&M.
Yes.
No. OU will be. I think they'll end up being fine. And when they expand to 12, just wait. You're gonna get like 5 SEC teams in the playoff. You're going to get an insane amount of SEC teams in the playoffs because you'll have Bama, Georgia will be in it, I'm assuming, every year. And then Tennessee, Auburn's good sometimes. Ole Miss
LSU will sneak in there.
Yep. You're going to have Texas, OU. You're going to have –
Florida will find their way.
It'll just be what year because I don't know if they have it like – all 5 Power 5 conference team or winners get in, but I'm sure they're going to make some like certain rule where they got to put
Oklahoma State has to get in every year.
Yeah, and they get throttled. Get throttled. They're lucky they're staying in the Big 12, and the Big 12's lucky they pulled Colorado because I was thinking that the Big 12 was going to be done. I figured all the teams were going to branch out and go their own, like. UCLA and USC went to the Big 10. I figured
that I was thinking that they might. There's a whole bunch of like because they're a different wrestling schedule, right? They're the Air Force, Northern Iowa, the Dakotas. They all play. They all wrestle in the Big 12. So I thought they might just combine that, but they didn't.
The Big 10's gonna be good this year. I hope Wisconsin is really good. Fickle seems like he's gonna set it right.
Expectations are pretty high for the Badgers this year.
I've been sticking with them. I know Braylon Allen is a beast. That guy is a tank. He's gonna be a stud in the NFL. And then they got Mordecai slinging it at Q. Yep. He should be good enough. I mean, it seems like that Wisconsin's been a decent quarterback away from getting.
Yes,
it seems like
that's all we've ever needed.
And then I heard something that's one of this Florida page I saw on Instagram said that Graham Mertz was going to be good, and I've watched Graham Mertz the past 3 years or 2 years. He has been terrible. He has done nothing.
He has lost games that we absolutely won.
And I was talking to Coy about this not too long ago when they played Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship and they lost by like a touchdown where they should have won the game. Yeah. They would have been in the college football playoff. They won that game. They were in the college football playoff. And their quarterback was Alex Hornibrook, a lefty that had a noodle arm that was just average, like as average as they come. And he transferred.
You can't just get a guy that'll give him just get it over the hump.
They have guys like – This is where they need it, and their guys are like consistently just playing to a step down. They've had the defense has never been the problem. They always have a good running back. Their O-line's usually pretty good. It's just their quarterback has been.
Their quarterbacks can't throw a fucking football. That's an issue.
Wisconsin gets down, and it's like
back.
What? Like
what do we do?
Yeah,
We can't kick our way out of this.
They can't.
Yeah.
You can't take an 8-minute drive down the field. You actually have to run and or throwing the ball. But I hope Wisconsin's going to be good. I know Michigan. Their schedule's pretty set too. They get Ohio State at home, and I think that was like the only big time team that they play until if they made the championship. But I can't wait till USC and UCLA join. I can't wait to see Lincoln Riley get throttled when it's snowing outside.
Boy, he will too. And I wonder if he put socks on with those penny loafers.
It's going to be 25 degrees, and all the USC guys are going to be crowded around the heater, while Wisconsin's in the middle of the third quarter doing the jump around up 3 scores.
They won't enjoy wintertime up here.
Nope.
It's geography used to mean something.
Yeah.
Now these conferences are like they span the whole nation. It's wild.
And the out of conference like schedules for some of these teams, like I know OU's is weak too, but most of the top teams out of conference schedules are pretty weak. Like at some point
nobody's taking any chances.
Yeah. And the way in college football you have to schedule it like 20 years in advance.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was
like SMU was the best team on the planet when we scheduled this game.
Exactly. You know? And now when you play them, they're like mediocre or what they need to like get rid of that where you can schedule it like 2 years in advance or something like that. Like you play your conference, but the out of conference game should mean more than playing 3 schools you're just going to dog walk. Like the out of conference has just gone to like, it doesn't really matter.
Maybe let a board pick the fucking out of conference.
Yeah,
just take it out of their hands.
The school shouldn't be just picking cupcakes to beat.
They're just paying for wins.
Yeah, like Bama's played what is it, Citadel the past 3 years or whatever, or 2 years. That should never be a game on.
They haven't been good since 1839.
That should never be a game on television. Bama should be playing.
That should never be a game on television.
Like you should never be getting games like that. It's just I get maybe having one in there, but 3 out of conference games where you're playing nobodies is just that.
They need to. If they're gonna put 12 in the they should have a board and take over the non-conference schedule.
They should schedule the non-conference and they should be playing.
Make it about money.
Yeah,
if they want to NIL deals. Let's make it about money.
Just load up the schedules. Georgia plays some of the best teams, but why not have them play an Ohio State in the regular season or have them play a Clemson? I mean, I know they played Clemson last year, but. It doesn't have to be like they don't have to match it up like we know it's going to be the playoffs. But they can play in Oregon.
Exactly.
They can play a USC,
Utah, USC.
Yeah, they could play a fucking Power 5. You could play in Oklahoma State.
Exactly.
Baylor.
Iowa, Baylor, just like any.
That's exactly right. Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Northwest. There's a lot of teams out here that probably aren't going to make the playoffs, but they'll be a formidable television game. Like people will tune in.
Yeah,
and we'll get to see cross conference.
And there's always a chance in those games. It's not like when you're playing Missouri State and you turn on the game, you know that whoever's playing them is just going to run through them. By the third quarter, you're going to flip the channel.
And we could throw out the SEC bullshit of playing these fucking Citadel in October or November. That's bullshit. That's bye week.
Your schedule should be. You should obviously every team wants to do this, but it shouldn't be like you're playing Tennessee one week and then you're playing Citadel the next, and then you're playing Georgia and then you're playing.
It's awful.
Yeah,
bad football.
I think they'll end up figuring it out, but the 12 teams is a step in the right direction, I think. I like the 12 teams. It opens up for non-Power 5 teams to get in. Like that one year UCF was undefeated. They should have got in. And if there was 12, they would have got in. But
was that Heupel?
Yeah, I believe so. It was Heupel.
Hey, Cole, real quick for the audience. This is the Oracle. When we talk about the Oracle, we talk about him a lot. This is Cole Cunningham. We have loved to have you on, brother. You need to come on more often. Now it's football season. You get in the mix. When you get in your dorm room, get a fucking laptop so you can log in.
Yeah,
beat up your old man.
I'll be on more.
All right, brother. Eric, you want to wrap this shit up?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. Till next time, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music.
You've been listening to Patriot Sports Radio. If you're sick of all the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media, like we are, this show is for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. For more content and merch, hit up www.patriotsportsnow.com. Find us on Twitter at PatriotsPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Patriot Sports Now, and on Getter, Rumble, and YouTube at Patriot Sports. Take care, and we'll see you next time.